you're watching News Mongolia on MNB World, and I'm your host, Gerege. On the News Mongolia today, MNB to collaborate with Türkiye's TIKA organization on modernizing its archives. Mongolian government developing a national strategy for artificial intelligence and big data. Golden Gerege presented to the ambassador of Türkiye. For the news, stay tuned. The Mongolian National Broadcaster will collaborate with the Turkish Cooperation and Coordination Agency, or TIKA, to digitize its extensive archive collection. This project aims to preserve decades of audio-visual materials by converting them into digital formats, with TIKA providing essential infrastructure and technical support.
I am very pleased to visit Mongolia's national public radio and television. Recently, the president of Mongolia, officially visited the Republic of Türkiye. Within this framework, the director of MNB visited the Turkish Cooperation and Coordination Agency, TIKA, in Ankara and met with TIKA President Serkan Kayalar. During this meeting, discussions were held regarding a project to digitize the old film archives of MNB. Our organization, TIKA, implements numerous projects in various sectors in Mongolia, particularly providing official development assistance for Mongolia's development. For this project to digitize MNB's archives, our Turkish Cooperation and Coordination Agency aims to provide the necessary infrastructure support and assistance.
The initiation and successful implementation of the archive project have been discussed and documented within the radio and television sector for many years. In the past, we brought in a device called Ishtambek, which converts 16mm film about 10 years ago, and we began converting 16mm films over a long period. However, MNB has stored all types of archives, including sound and video archives, in 10 different formats over time. Therefore, we need equipment that can read and convert multiple formats simultaneously and digitize these archives as quickly as possible. Many television stations worldwide are currently digitizing their archives, not just MNB. Many countries around the world are digitizing and converting their archives to digital systems for reuse. Although we have fallen behind in this project, we are very pleased to have the opportunity to start today. On February 13, 2025, the National Strategy for Big Data and Artificial Intelligence Conference took place, focusing on public discussions to shape Mongolia's national AI strategy. The event was jointly organized by the Ministry of Digital Development, Innovation and Communications of Mongolia and the United Nations Development Programme. Together, they assessed Mongolia's AI readiness and gathered input from public and private sector representatives, scientists from the Mongolian Academy of Sciences, university faculty, and young Mongolian professionals working abroad. The national AI strategy will prioritize mining and energy as key sectors for AI-driven development, leveraging Mongolia's strengths in these industries. Due to its unique climate and abundant coal and renewable energy resources, Mongolia has an ideal environment for establishing energy-efficient data centers. The strategy aims to position Mongolia as a prime destination for global investment in AI infrastructure.
The world is transitioning to an era of artificial intelligence, big data, and digital development. This technological advancement has become a revolution that is changing economic structure, governance system, national security, human development, and further changing the balance of power in the world, and has had a comprehensive impact on global peace and stability. At this time, the government of Mongolia faces the urgent need to develop a national strategy for artificial intelligence and support investment in research and development. The national strategy should aim at properly using the latest technological advances nationwide, creating big data in each sector, and aligning digital transition with economic growth, social development, and sustainable development policies. Mongolia has the potential to become an artificial intelligence developer We have the capabilities to establish an artificial intelligence innovation center, attract investment, and develop a startup ecosystem. Mongolia's cybersecurity risk assessment will be presented to the public on February 19, 2025.
Artificial intelligence has become the most competitive technological field worldwide, significantly boosting productivity and enabling the creation of new, advanced products and services. AI is not only transforming economies, but also playing a vital role in defense, education, and healthcare. With its increasing influence, AI is now recognized as a crucial factor in the nation's security, social, and economic development.
Mongolia is currently a consumer country when it comes to artificial intelligence. In order to transition into an AI developer country, we need to determine which sectors require greater investment and, accordingly, what policies and decisions the government of Mongolia should make. This discussion has been organized to exchange views on public-private sector collaboration regarding this matter. Artificial intelligence has become the DNA of digital transformation in the modern era. Digital transformation is the main pillar of progress and development. The government possesses a vast amount of data. It is essential to open up this big data to the private sector and research institutions specializing in artificial intelligence. The technologies we use consume a significant amount of energy. Therefore, we are initiating the establishment of an IT hub based on artificial intelligence. Additionally, a feasibility study is being conducted to set up a data center alongside a national council on artificial intelligence. Furthermore, AI specialists are crucial. Thus, we plan to launch a paid internship program for professionals conducting research in this field in collaboration with the Mongolian Academy of Sciences, universities, and the private sector. In addition, the government should ensure that these initiatives are not overly restricted by numerous laws and regulations. The private sector engaged in artificial intelligence research will also receive special tax incentives.
Studies estimate that AI will contribute $25.6 trillion to the global economy by 2030. Recognizing AI's impact, many countries have already developed national AI strategies. Canada became the first country to adopt a national AI strategy in 2017, and today 75 countries have established similar plans. Mongolia is now taking steps to develop its strategy, ensuring it remains competitive in the evolving AI landscape. Now let's take a look at Mongolian current affairs.
The State Secretary of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, İlmuk Tuşig, met with the ambassador of the Republic of Türkiye to Mongolia, Zafer Ates, on the 12th of this month, as the ambassador prepares to permanently return to his home country. During the meeting, State Secretary İlmuk Tuşig highlighted the successful state visit of the President of Mongolia to Türkiye after 21 years, which took place as part of the 55th anniversary of diplomatic relations between the two countries. He emphasized that the visit elevated bilateral ties to the level of a strategic partnership. Expressing gratitude for Ambassador Zafer Ates's significant contributions to strengthening Mongolia-Türkiye relations and fostering friendship between the two nations, State Secretary İlmuk Tuşig presented him with the Golden Gerege and wished him success in his future endeavors.
The first ice knuckleball shooting amateur championship of Ulaanbaatar, organized by the Ulaanbaatar City Council, the Governor's Office, and the Mongolian National Ice Knuckleball Federation, is underway, bringing a thrilling revival of a centuries-old tradition. The competition seeks to revive and promote the rich history of ice knuckleball shooting, a sport that dates back over 1,000 years, while also nurturing the next generation of archers. To raise public awareness and establish the sport's future development, more than 300 participants from 6 districts of Ulaanbaatar are competing for glory. Each team consists of 2 members, with a total of 189 teams participating. The 5 highest scoring teams will face off in the final match on February 22nd, 2025 at the National Park, where the ultimate winner will be crowned. The competition will continue on the Tol, Dont, Silib and Olaste rivers until February 22nd, 2025. Thank you for staying with us. Here is the currency exchange rates provided by Mongol Bank. Next, our program will turn our attention to foreign news, partnered with international news agencies. UN Special Envoy for Yemen, Hans Grundberg, condemned the death of a World Food Programme staffer in prison and the detentions of dozens of UN workers and others in recent months.
The deeply troubling development is the fourth wave of arbitrary detentions of United Nations staff conducted by Ansar Allah last month. These detentions are not only a violation of fundamental human rights, but also a direct threat to the United Nations' ability to provide humanitarian assistance to millions in need. Even more deplorable is the death, while detained by Ansar Allah, of a UN colleague working for the World Food Programme. Regrettably, we have also seen a continuation of military activity in Yemen, with reports of the movement of reinforcement and equipment towards the front lines, and shelling, drone attacks, and infiltration attempts by Ansar Allah on multiple front lines, including in Abyan, Al-Dali, Laj, Ma'arib, Sada, Shabwa, and Taiz. I call on the parties to refrain from military posturing and retaliatory measures that could lead to further tension and risk plunging Yemen back into conflict.
Despite significant risks, humanitarian operations across Yemen are largely continuing. But the detention, as described by the Special Envoy, of more UN staff in January has led to tough decisions regarding the ability of the UN system as a whole to deliver for those in need. UN and humanitarian partners simply cannot be expected to operate in the absence of guarantees of their safety. Faced with real risks to the security of our staff, we've therefore been forced to temporarily pause operations in Saada Governorate.
The United Nations World Food Programme said Tuesday one of its staffers has died in a Yemeni prison 3 weeks after his detention by Houthi rebels. The announcement came a day after the UN suspended its operations in the rebels' stronghold in northern Yemen over security concerns following the detentions of dozens of UN workers and others in recent months. No cause of death was given in the World Food Programme statement. The man was one of 7 WFP staffers detained by the Houthi rebels on January 23rd. Grundberg reported a continuation of military activity in Yemen and called on all parties to refrain from retaliatory measures. UN's Under-Secretary General for Humanitarian Affairs and Emergency Relief Coordinator Tom Fletcher said that humanitarian operations across Yemen continue despite significant risks, but have suspended humanitarian operations in Saada after the Houthis detained 8 more UN staffers. For his part, Abdullah Ali Fadel al-Sadi, Yemen's permanent representative to the United Nations, called for all international organizations operating in Yemen to transfer their headquarters to Aden. Yemen's civil war began in 2014 when the Iran-backed Houthi rebels took control of Sana'a and much of the country's north, forcing the government to flee to the south, then to Saudi Arabia. A Saudi-led coalition entered the war in March 2015, backed at the time by the US, in an effort to restore the internationally recognized government to power. The war has killed more than 150,000 people, including civilians and combatants, and in recent years deteriorated largely into a stalemate. The UN had projected that over 19 million people across Yemen will need humanitarian assistance this year, as many deal with climate shocks, malnutrition, cholera, and the economic effects of war.
Alright, that's all for today. Thank you for staying with us. We'll see you next week with more news and updates. Have a nice weekend. Goodbye.